Wish you all aspirants a bright and prosperous future. We hope most of you will score UPSC or OPSC wherever you are appearing and fly out with flying colors. One time success is not important. Being successful always is important. Aptitude that matters. During preliminary examination in the GS paper 2, GS paper 2 intends actually to judge the aptitude of the candidates. People do not like corrupt officers. Normally the interviewers seek is the emotional intelligence of the candidates. I welcome all the viewers of this talk show, which is organized by Cultivating Academy of Civil Services. Wish you all aspirants a bright and prosperous future. We hope most of you will score UPSC or OPSC wherever you are appearing and fly out with flying colors. The topic for today is aptitude that matters. Why we chose this subject, you will be surprised. A few days back, one important news item hit all the newspapers or TV channels. That was about AIS professional of Maharashtra, Ms. Pooja Khadkar. Pooja Khadkar hit the news headlines because she had done different kinds of forgery in UPSC examination. She had produced fake caste certificates, fake handicapped physically challenged certificates. Similarly, she had changed the names of her parents several times, and in spite of that, she would have managed to get into the show, but she finally lost all her credibility when she, during her probation, she started demanding different kinds of privileges from the district administration, like special attending staffs, special vehicle. She wanted to put on a red light on her car, and to add to all these things, one day she burst into the chamber of the collector and occupied it. So upon this, the collector, who is normally the head of the district, he reported the matter to Government of India, state government, and the matter was there was a lot of hue and cry over the issue, and ultimately UPSC cancelled her candidature and she was driven out from service. This is not the lone case where Pooja Khadkar was caught. In past also several people have been caught because of different kinds of misconduct and indisciplined behavior during training. But when such things appear, normally people outside, they question the wisdom and sagacity of Union Public Service Commission or the State Public Service Commission, wherever, whatever may be the case, because of choosing her as a candidate. UPSC normally conducts the civil service examination in different phases. For example, there is a preliminary examination, thereafter they have the main examination, and ultimately the viva voce, which is the personality test. During preliminary examination in the GS paper 2, GS paper 2 intends actually to judge the aptitude of the candidates. In GS, different types of reasoning tests and other things are done to measure the mental ability of the candidates, their emotional intelligence, and a lot of other things, which intends to find out whether she will fit into the job or not. Similarly, in personality test or the viva voce examination, it is not an examination to test the knowledge base of a candidate. It is basically to judge the personality of the candidate and how far he will fit into this job, how his personality will fit into this job. All these things are measured. So when a candidate cheats UPSC or OPSC in different examinations, all these different stages of examination, and get into the job, so ultimately and he is found to be a wrong selection, then people question the sagacity and wisdom of OPSC or UPSC. Whether getting into the job is not important. Like I said previously, success is not one time success is not important. Being successful always is important. So getting into the job is not similarly very important. Staying in the job for a long period without any spot, without any blemish is important. So if one doesn't have that kind of aptitude for the job, he will ultimately be found out as a wrong selection. People with the right aptitude, once he gets into the job, he will definitely sign. But when a person without proper aptitude, without proper etiquette, without proper discipline and conduct gets into the job, he spoils his job, he spoils his career and spoils the public life also. He spoils the life of many other people also. So it is very important that a person before getting into the job has the right aptitude. What people expect from a civil servant or a government servant as a whole. Normally people expect that a government officer should be honest, he should have highest levels of sincerity and integrity, and to cap all these things, people expect that a government servant should have dedication and empathy for people's cause. People as a whole normally do not like government officials who are normally glass house operators or those government officials who are believing in self-aggrandizement. People do not like corrupt officers. People do not like people who do not care for the feelings of people, for the needs of people and for the desires of people. So it is very important that when one gets into public service, he must devote his heart and soul towards the cause of public. So while selecting such kind of candidates for civil services, be it UPSC or OPSC, what the selectors normally look at. Forget about the UPSC or OPSC. Even when you appear for a private company or a public sector company or a business establishment, what the employer looks for in a candidate. We will discuss all those things today. When the interviewers start interviewing aspirant candidates for different jobs, what they look in a candidate. There are basic 10 qualities which the employers normally seek to find in a candidate. The first thing is a good communication skill. Normally people expect the officials that they should be good communicators with public. Even in business also, good communication is very important. So for good communication, there are two components. One should be a active listener and a clear speaker. So you must listen to the what people on the other side of the table are speaking to you, understand their needs, then you communicate your decisions. Decisions may not always be favorable to the people. Yes, it may be sometimes positive, maybe sometimes it's negative. But whenever you are communicating something negative, it should be communicated in such a manner that the people on the other side do not feel hurt. So the communication should be very clear and honest. The second thing is what the interviewers normally seek to find in a candidate is their ability to work in a team. You'll normally we have seen any government work, any government scheme is always the result of a collective work. No single individual turns the table. So it's a group of people starting from the top brass to the people in the grassroots. They all have to put in their best of labor to deliver the results. So it's always a teamwork. But while working in a team, there are very often conflicting situations, there are differences of opinion, but how one gets over all these difference of opinion, conflicting situations to arrive at a conclusion is the thing what the interviewers look at from the aspirants. So the aspirants must show his capability to work in a team in tandem with others without destroying the fabric of the structure of the organization, without having a long-term dispute or conflict with the team members. The third thing which normally the interviewers seek is the emotional intelligence of the candidates. Most of us have earlier heard about IQ, which is intelligence quotient. Nowadays emotional EQ has replaced IQ. IQ is one who scores good marks in the examination, who is always an achiever. But normally we have seen achievers do not fare well in all fields of their life. Many people we have seen who have scored good in high school examinations and college examinations, they do not succeed in any competitive examination. It is because they have low IQ. They do not mix with other people. They do not understand the problems surrounding them. They do not know how to make a solution of these issues. There are no guidebooks how to solve the problems. So one has to use his own intelligence level, his own emotional level, and he has to solve it. So if one doesn't have the adequate empathy for people, one doesn't have the capacity to recognize the problem and find out its solution, he will not be successful in public services. So developing intelligence, emotional intelligence, that is recognizing the problems all around and having a solution of it with empathy for people is the thing they look at it. Similarly, most of the employers look for creativity in a candidate. What do you mean by creativity? Creativity is something which is capacity to make innovations, capacity to think out of the box. Everyone normally follows the trodden path, but when you take a different path, you make the difference. Everybody wants to go to Antarctica, but it is always the first person or a person who takes a different route always gets a beautiful picture of Antarctica. Otherwise, if you follow the trodden path and traditional path, then you will find a muddy situation where you don't enjoy the beauty of the snow falling on the earth. So you have to think out of the box. Every problem comes with different solutions. You have to think of such a solution which will make you different from others, and it's always the innovative capacity of innovative thinking capacity of a person which makes him different from others. You have to leave a mark with the interviewers or the employer that you mean something different from others. That has to be shown. This has to be cultivated over the years, cannot be developed overnight. The fifth quality which the interviewers or the employers normally seek is the organizing capacity of a candidate. By saying organizing capacity, I do not mean the capacity to organize an event or the capacity to organize a function. It is managing one's own affairs, managing his own business, or managing his own office, or managing his own personality. It is also managing time, which is a scarce commodity, versus his own priorities. It is managing his money and resources vis-a-vis his needs. It is managing the opportunities vis-a-vis the weaknesses and difficulties. So if you manage time, money and opportunities in a proper manner, by organizing them, prioritizing them, then you will definitely be successful. So normally the employers and interviewers look for this capacity. How do you manage your time? How do you manage your opportunities and your resources? Another important thing is normally they look for punctuality and sincerity. Punctuality means it's almost a different form of time management. If you start early, you end early, and you save a lot of time. Sometimes we say one at a time, do one at a time and will be successful, and sometimes we say we can multitask. But it depends on the situation where you will do one by one and where you will do multitasking. So by multitasking you can save a lot of time in having one at a time, one job at a time. You can give proper justice to the job. So in both the it's not exactly one cannot say where which formula can be adopted, but depending on the situation, depending on the prevailing circumstances, you can take a decision. And punctuality has another connotation also. If you arrive in the interview hall after your name is called, that will be a negative capacity. Negative means it will go against you. So one has to be very punctual, and he must show his tendency to manage time. Seventh quality which the interviewers sometimes try to find out is the capacity for one's critical thinking. Critical thinking means whenever you are confronted with a situation, you have to judge the situation, think it critically, examine it from different perspectives, examine its pros and cons, and then take a decision based on reason. But once you decide, you have to pursue it to its logical end. So while taking decisions, you have to examine it from different points of view and make a cost benefit analysis of your decision, whether you are going to benefit by taking a decision this way or taking a decision that way, and if you are benefiting out of it, is the benefit heavier than the input you are making. That has to be taken by the candidate, and this capacity also always makes you more successful in decisions and makes you less vulnerable and liable to change your decisions in future. Another quality which the interviewers normally try to find out is one's adaptability to work in different kinds of situations. We have heard about flexibility versus rigidity. Sometimes it is good to be flexible, and sometimes it is good to be rigid, but one has to take a decision how much flexibility has to be mixed with how much rigidity to make it a good blend. If you are always flexible, people take you for granted. If you are too rigid, you will be construed as a person who doesn't allow anything to happen. So you have to make a perfect balance between both of these things and adapt both the things as per the needs of time. So a good officer is one who adapts himself to the situation, learns the situation, makes a critical thinking, and takes a good decision by organizing his priorities, opportunities and needs. The last thing which normally interviewers try to find out is one's inclusiveness. Inclusiveness means whether he remains whether he wants to remain exclusive of others, has a very ego complex, or a person who can mix up with everybody to get his things done. A better administrator has always the capacity to be friendly with people and he has to be considerate. He must pose himself as one among the masses, be with the masses and enjoy their confidence, and then work for their benefit. Such kind of people are called inclusive, and they make others also a part of their his own scheme, and he also lends himself to be a part of other scheme. And by mixing with people, he normally earns more goodwill and works in a better way and delivers more results. So these are basic certain things which normally the interviewers look at from the candidates. So while going for interview or appearing in examination, or even after being selected, one has to develop all these things to be one among the people and be loved by the people. So then people will say that you had the right aptitude to be in this service. And once a person with right aptitude joins the service, he always shines, does better work, he is loved by everybody, and he makes a difference felt in the entire career. So I will expect that before going to interview or appearing in the GS paper 2, you must develop an aptitude to be in civil services. It means you are going to shoulder the responsibility of a good governance in the country, and good governance always means discipline, it always means being with people, it means good conduct, and you should be above all kinds of suspicion, you should be above all kinds of small frailties. So then only people will have trust in you and you will be a good bureaucrat. Thanks to all of you. I expect again that most of you who are watching this show will crack your civil services examination with flying colors and join the service with right aptitude. Thank you all.